We need to talk about Epsom salts. Balance in a garden is super important, and magnesium is an essential micronutrient for plants. However, too much magnesium can result in stunted growth and poor crop yields, and none of us want that. Welcome back, casual gardeners. Today, we're doing a response video. When I found a video here on YouTube that's gotten over 3.9 million views, and it recommends throwing Epsom salt around your garden like it's confetti, I've just got to say something because that's going to hurt a lot of gardens.
Epsom salt is a natural mineral that was first discovered in Epsom, England. People typically use Epsom salt in the bathroom to relieve aches and pains or internally as a laxative. But it's also a garden additive that expert gardeners swear by.
Epsom salt has the chemical formula magnesium sulfate, and both magnesium and sulfur are important in our gardens. But when they are added in overabundance, they can interfere with the uptake of other nutrients like potassium and iron and other things I'll remember later. And it's not a great thing. As a master gardener, there are situations where I would use Epsom salt in my garden, but in all of my years of gardening, I haven't actually encountered one of those situations. More often than not, you are better off staying away from Epsom salt. This is a chemical with a bunch of misinformation.
It can help you produce lush, healthy plants, flowers, and trees. Here are 7 amazing reasons to use Epsom salt in your garden.
I'm not going to say never use Epsom salt because a generalization like that is always going to be wrong for somebody. But the only reason you should ever add Epsom salt to your garden is if you live somewhere with sandy soil or a low soil pH, and you've had your soil tested, and you know that it is deficient in magnesium. And even then, there are better things to add to bump that magnesium up than Epsom salt. Because Epsom salt is so soluble, the same conditions that leached all the magnesium out of your soil in the first place are just going to strip that Epsom salt right out that you've added. Save your Epsom salt for bath time and poopy time. If you do need to improve your magnesium levels in your soil, dolomitic lime is a much better additive than Epsom salt because it is less soluble, but it is still soluble. It will also raise your pH because it's magnesium calcium carbonate, so it has a basic pH. If you need magnesium, you probably have an acidic pH, so it takes care of your pH problem and bumps up your magnesium for you. And that means that you're going to have a lot less wash through than you would adding Epsom salts.
1. Make fruit sweeter. Epsom salt, when added to trees, bushes, and vines that produce fruit, boosts the chlorophyll inside the plant. When plants have more chlorophyll, they have more energy. When they have more energy, they produce more sugar. More sugar means sweeter fruit for you to enjoy.
Adding Epsom salt will only boost your chlorophyll production in your plants if the soil that they're growing in was already deficient in magnesium. If there was sufficient magnesium and it was available to the plants, adding Epsom salt does nothing unless it increases your magnesium content too much, and then you're going to see reduced potassium and calcium intake. And those are both also essential micronutrients. And, well, wait, potassium's a macronutrient. You're going to have a bad time. It's also possible for your plant's magnesium deficiency to occur even if there's enough magnesium in the soil. And that means adding more magnesium still isn't going to do anything. If there is too much potassium or too little nitrogen in your soil, even if magnesium is available, your plant could be symptomatic for that deficiency. If your plant is deficient in magnesium and you want to use Epsom salt, you're actually going to have a lot more luck applying it to the leaves, the foliage of your plants. A foliar application, you can be a little bit more sketchy with it. You don't have to be as careful because you're not going to be interfering with uptake down at the roots for potassium and calcium, and you can still get that little boost of magnesium to your plants.
2. Tree stump remover. Tree stump removal can be costly, but if you don't have the money to get the stump removed, let Epsom salt come to your rescue. Simply drill a few holes into the stump and fill the holes with Epsom salt. In weeks, the stump will begin rotting.
Epsom salt can accelerate stump rotting, but it doesn't actually accelerate stump rotting. What it does is it helps kill off any living tissue that's left over trying to survive in your stump. Live stumps don't rot well because they're trying to survive and regrow. Epsom salt takes care of that problem. But if you really want to rot your stump and it's a dead stump, then you're better off using potassium nitrate. That provides the macronutrients that fungi and bacteria need to break down that wood and actually do the rotting work for you. You may also hear potassium nitrate referred to as saltpeter.
3. Epsom salt increases nutrient absorption. Many commercial fertilizers add magnesium to help plant roots take up vital nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur. For those using all organic materials to feed their gardens, adding Epsom salt to soil will improve absorption naturally, eliminating the need for processed chemical fertilizers.
Plant nutrients have really complex relationships. Magnesium will help your plants take up some nutrients, but it will also interfere in your plant's ability to take up other nutrients, especially if it's available at too high a concentration. Always test your soil before you add something like magnesium to it. Too much magnesium can lock out calcium uptake. It's literally called calcium lockout, and this can result in poor fruit formation. Think blossom end rot on your tomatoes. A lot of people add Epsom salt to help with blossom end rot, and that can actually make it worse. Stop that, guys. It can also reduce potassium uptake, and potassium is another nutrient that your plants need for proper fruit development. Epsom salt is, like the name implies, a salt. You are assaulting your soil. You're adding salt to your soil. Some soils can handle that, but if your soil is already intrinsically salty like mine, because I live in a desert climate, adding Epsom salt to your soil can take it the rest of the way to dead, and then you won't have a garden anymore.
4. Lush lawn fertilizer. If your lawn isn't lush and beautiful, it probably needs a little magnesium in its life. To perk up grass, add 3 pounds of Epsom salt to every 1,250 square feet of grass, and then water your lawn.
This is a problem for many reasons that we've already discussed. Excess magnesium can interfere with the uptake of iron and boron and potassium in your lawn. Also, it's still a salt. You're still salting your soil. If you don't have a soil test that tells you specifically that your soil is deficient in magnesium, adding Epsom salt to your lawn can make it brown, not green. It is generally a terrible idea to add Epsom salt to your lawn unless you live in Western Oregon or Washington, places that are literally temperate rainforests.
5. Beautiful blooming roses. Ever wonder why your neighbor's rose bushes are fuller than yours and sport so many more blossoms?
Are they fertilizing more correctly than you? Have they amended their soil better? Are they following a recommended pruning schedule? Are you following a recommended pruning schedule? There are many factors that influence how well your roses bloom, and throwing salt at them isn't going to help most of those factors.
It's highly likely that the answer is Epsom salt.
Never trust a source that shows you desert roses when discussing rose care. They're not even the same plant family.
Epsom salt to rose bushes encourages them to produce larger flowers with darker, deeper colors. To incorporate Epsom salt to your rose bush's diet, add it at the time of planting and when the flowers are in bloom.
Never throw Epsom salt down your planting hole. You are literally throwing salt down where those sensitive roots are trying to establish and branch out. If you must add Epsom salt, add it as a top dressing around your plant after you've planted it. It's incredibly soluble. It's going to get down there. Commercial rose fertilizers contain calcium and iron and magnesium at concentrations that will help maintain beautiful blooms. If you are adding a commercial fertilizer to your roses, you should not need to add Epsom salt. If you're not fertilizing your roses with a commercial rose fertilizer, I think you should try that before adding Epsom salt, because Epsom salt is only going to add magnesium. If your roses are suffering from some other nutrient shortage, it's not going to help and it could even make it worse. If you're wary about using commercial fertilizers on your roses because that's chemicals, so is Epsom salt.
6. Keeps leaves green. Plants that aren't getting enough magnesium can be identified by their yellowing leaves. This is because magnesium is an essential component in the production of chlorophyll.
It is true that your plants need magnesium to make chlorophyll. Magnesium deficiency looks like yellowing in between the veins of the leaves on your plant. It looks almost identical to an iron deficiency, which is also yellowing between the veins of the leaves of your plants. Generally speaking, the only way to know for sure if you have a magnesium deficiency is to get your soil tested. You will generally see magnesium deficiency on your older plant leaves and iron deficiency higher up on the plant on the newer leaves. So there is that, but it's not always diagnostic. Adding magnesium to a plant that actually has an iron deficiency will only make the problem worse and could kill your plant. I don't think the yellowing they show in this video even looks like a magnesium deficiency. It looks a lot more like a nitrogen deficiency to me.
Try sprinkling Epsom salt around your plants to achieve healthier foliage. About 1 tablespoon per 12 inches of height once a month will benefit the plants in your vegetable garden, as well as any trees, shrubs, flowers, and grasses you want to green up.
I can't say this often enough. Only add Epsom salt if you are aware of an actual magnesium deficiency in your soil. I do like that they're showing a foliar application. Adding magnesium to the leaves is a lot less likely to cause harm if you're gung-ho about following the advice in that video. But seriously, get your soil tested. It will solve a lot of problems. Soil testing is available at a pretty affordable cost at most land-grant universities. So here in Utah, that would be the Utah State University.
And 7. Produce abundant nightshades. Many people enjoy growing plants from the nightshade family, such as peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, and potatoes. All nightshades need a lot of magnesium so that they produce greater yields.
It is true that nightshades consume a lot of magnesium. Intensive growers, especially ones that are growing tomatoes and peppers in a high tunnel environment year after year, will find that they need to add magnesium to their soil because their plants will start to be magnesium deficient. But if you're a home grower and you're adding some kind of fertilizer like compost, or you're rotating your crops, this is not a problem you should expect to have, because if you're a home grower, you're almost by definition not an intensive farmer. Here in Utah, my soil is naturally high in magnesium and calcium. I'm basically growing in dolomitic lime. So when my nightshades show signs of a magnesium or a calcium shortage, I know that I probably shouldn't add more. That's not what's causing it. They're having a problem with their uptake. So I need to make sure instead that I'm keeping my organic matter levels high in my soil, because that helps hold those nutrients available for the plants. And also I need to make sure that I'm getting deep, consistent watering. No Epsom salt needed.
Epsom salt also helps improve the flavor of nightshades.
The claim that Epsom salt will improve the flavor of your nightshades, specifically tomatoes, has been extensively debunked. But there are some gardening practices that can improve the flavor of your tomatoes. Make sure you're supporting your soil health by adding organic matter to your soil every year. This can be compost, this can be mulch that biodegrades, this can be chop and drop harvesting where you leave the parts of the plant you're not using in the soil to decompose and go back into the soil. Take care that your watering practices go deep into the soil instead of just wetting the top couple inches of the soil. Drip irrigation is great for this. You can also add a layer of mulch around the base of your nightshades. This will reduce evaporation from the soil and make sure that that water is available longer to the roots of your plants. A lot of calcium and magnesium deficiencies are caused by the fact that the soil's just drying out too much in between waterings. Those are all practices that are demonstrated to reduce blossom end rot and improve your fruit quality in your nightshades. Epsom salt will not do that.
To ensure the nightshades you grow in your home garden are abundant and tasty, add 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt to your peppers and tomatoes by sprinkling it around the base of the plant. If you want the salt to dissolve more quickly, add it to a gallon of water and water the plants with the mixture. You should continue to add the Epsom salt to your plants every 2 weeks.
If I were to add Epsom salt to my garden every 2 weeks, it would surely die. Epsom salt is a salt, remember. You're salting your soil. Too much magnesium interferes with the uptake of other vital nutrients. If you're super worried that your plants might be deficient in magnesium and for some reason you can't do a soil test, only add magnesium to the leaves, not the soil. Magnesium added to your soil in overabundance will kill your soil and reduce the nutrient uptake of your plants. Alternatively, just use compost or a commercial fertilizer. Both of these are really great sources of balanced nutrition, including the micronutrients that your plants need. Compost is my favorite, and that's because you're not just adding those nutrients, you're also adding organic matter to revitalize your soil. It's kind of a all-in-one sort of deal. Commercial fertilizers often don't do that for you. But I mean, there's no reason to not just do both.
Now, if you have any better ideas and suggestions of using Epsom salt in your garden, please share them in the comments below.
The only reason I would ever use Epsom salt in my garden is if I wanted to give my feet a nice soak while I watched my vegetables sway in a gentle summer breeze. That actually sounds kind of nice. But I know that my soil already has plenty of magnesium in it. If I add more to my soil, the price I pay will be higher than the price of Epsom salt. Do you agree with my advice, or do you think I am up in the night? Come at me in the comments. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out if you liked this video. Hit subscribe if you want more content like this or just general plant nerdiness. And I want to thank you so much for joining me here in my garden today. I hope you have a wonderful time in your own garden.